Hey, Master Users here, ready for today's review. Now, changing plans from what I said in Tiny, but, well, I saw it in theaters last month, so I've been holding off for a bit to review it, so here we go. Today we are reviewing Penguin Bloom, a Aussie Australian-made film released in theaters, and, well, considering how very little major releases there are at the moment, taking a look at an Aussie film is a good enough choice for me. So, this is actually based on a true story. Not that I knew when I first bought a ticket. But, let's give it a go. So, it's the true story of a family known as the Blooms. And how their story specifically follows the mother of the family, who suffered an accident while a family vacation in Thailand, is now paralyzed from the waist down, pretty much. The family is doing their best to support her, but she's clearly having trouble, as she cannot be who she once was. But eventually, one of her sons, her oldest that is, brings home a baby an infant magpie who has been stranded by her parents and needs to be nursed back to health. They name the magpie Penguin. And over time, this movie pretty much shows how Penguin grows up, bonds with the family, specifically the oldest son and the mother, and how the mother gradually returns to who she once was. So that's basically the premise. And, in many ways, it's similar to Marley and Me. I mean, not the premise, it's a lot different than that, but it is in many ways similar to that. I see bits of Marley and Me in it, and I also see a bit of The Impossible too. And both those movies I really do enjoy. They're both, again, all those two and this are based on actual true stories. So there's very much similarities. And to be fair, it actually is a really good story, honestly. I find it pretty good, and I generally believe when certain things happen, they maybe did actually happen in real life. I don't know for sure everything that happened, but it feels like it did. The story itself is actually pretty good, and it's pretty good. The acting is I think the best thing in it, especially from Naomi Watts as the mother. She is perfect. She's sweet when she needs to be. She's terrified when she needs to be. She's optimistic. She's cautious. It sort of fits what a person like that would go through. And I imagine that the real Mrs. Bloom actually did go through it. So yeah, I think she did really well. And considering that Naomi also played the main mother in The Impossible, it was a perfect casting choice for her to be given this role. And the family dynamic is the other best thing in it, honestly. You feel that this family has been through what this family has been through, but they stay strong, especially for the likes of the father and the sons. They try to keep the family, try to keep the mother optimistic, and try and move on, and bring back a sense of normality in their lives that they miss ever since the accident. Throw on the fact, and even the oldest, who's struggling to terms because he's sort of part responsible for their mother's accident. You understand how he's afraid of how he feels, and why he feels his mother's been has been giving him that much tension since it. The dynamic feels genuine, and throw in the grandmother and the aunt, they have real concerns over the grandmother has concerns over her daughter, and the aunt has concerns over her sister. From the friends, it does feel genuine. And look, I don't know for sure, but I will say this: the training of the magpie is pretty good. If there's a real magpie, that is. Please don't be CGI. But yeah, so that's all fine. But my only real problem with this is I feel some scenes do drag on a bit. And I don't know, I mean, maybe the ending does a little bit. Well, okay, when they go for a picnic at this favourite spot of the mother's, that's a bit, that kind of gets drawn out a bit. Plus the scene of the mother's birthday, and the argument that happens at the dinner table, and that drags on a little bit. But, you know, those are really all the problems I have with this. This is actually a pretty good movie. And I recommend you take a look at it while you still can. I mean, look, eventually we'll be getting the big stuff coming out soon. So, for you in Australia, watch this movie as we wait for the big leagues, I should say. So what am I going to give this? Well, I gave The Croods a New Age a 7.5 out of 10. I gave Swindle a 7.5 out of 10. I gave Tiny E a 7.5 out of 10. And what am I going to give this? 8 out of 10 has stars. Yep, I'm finally giving a different score. That feels good, honestly. You know, considering I've been giving 7.5s in the last 3 reviews, I'm glad I'm giving something different. Yeah. So, what's next on my channel? Well, it's video game related. It's an indie game. And, I'm going to enjoy it. And then afterwards, there is another video I'm playing. Well, there's a couple. But this one's going to be a special one, considering, you know, to review a movie that, you know, it's basically, how do I characterize it? Let's just say it's going to be difficult what exactly I'm going to review till I get to it. But next week, I promise the review will be uploaded next week. I will be reviewing a trip down the memory lane in terms of video games, of how hard they were, all from the eyes of a YouTube celebrity we all know as a vulgar nerd. Yeah, I think you can guess what game I'm pretty much reviewing. What games, I should say. But in the meantime, House of Reviews is out. And catch you later for my trip down the shitfest. Ciao.